Now, the problem with AEW as of right now is the overutilization of blood in all these matches that do not need blood. Okay? The only time wrestlers should use blood is when they're in a blood feud. Okay? A feud that is personal. A feud that is seeing two wrestlers just have all the hate in the world for each other, like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. That's a bloodbath feud. That's a personal, heated feud. Now, I liked what AEW did on Dynamite last Wednesday. I loved the ending of Mariah May winning the Women's Owen Hart Foundational Cup. And she just smacked Toni Storm in the face with that belt. Just whacked her. And this was a very effective beatdown that saw Mariah May be a legitimate threat to Toni Storm's AEW Women's Championship. I have never seen a woman bleed that much in any feud. Now, we've seen women bleed in Becky Lynch, maybe a couple other women in the past, but this, to start off a feud like this for the women, is very rare. Now, this is a feud that's going to be personal because these two have history. These two are, teacher and student type of relationship. Toni Storm taking Mariah May under her wing. So I expect to see a title change at All In with Mariah May beating Toni Storm. But I thought how they ended Dynamite with this was well done. The execution was great. Great execution. Now, to Bryan Danielson in the Adam Page match, the finals of the men's Owen Hart Foundational Cup. I didn't like the fact that Bryan Danielson bled because it only diminished the importance of the main event angle, right? Even though the women's angle is done pretty well, but it diminished it. It's like, why does the men's match need blood? If you're going to use blood to further an actual angle, a personal heated feud, why do you need to have Hangman Adam Page and Bryan Danielson bleed in a match and they're not even feuding? That's what I'm trying to say here. You only do blood if it's a heated feud. Bryan Danielson and Adam Page are not feuding. So the more times that Tony Khan allows his wrestlers to bleed more often, it's only going to diminish the importance of a wrestler bleeding. A wrestler should only bleed if it's to further an angle, to further a feud. Or if they're having a hardcore match during a heated feud, not when they're just having a regular schmegler tournament match. If anything, Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve, that should be a blood feud, which it was. I don't get the obsession with AEW and blood. I just don't get it. Now, I understand they have a pay-per-view named after, blood and guts. Okay, fine. Your wrestlers can bleed on that pay-per-view. It's more special that way. But why do it on a regular Dynamite and Collision? It doesn't make the match more interesting. It's just cheesy at this point. Okay? The wrong time to do it in the men's match because it doesn't really further anything. But with the women's match, it furthers an angle between Toni Storm and Mariah May, so it made sense to include blood.